Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Lila here, and I am bringing on Anna Villalobos. I never say her name right. I'm gonna have her introduce herself because I call her Anna, I call her Anna, oh, there she is! Woohoo! All right, we are gonna talk today about bridging masculine and feminine. Good morning, John. Such a blessing to see you. We're talking today to Bowspring teachers. Hello, beautiful. About bridging the gap between the masculine and feminine. Boom, boom, boom. Hello, beautiful. Welcome.
Hello, for
Welcome,
you.
welcome, welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
All right. Make sure I can hear you okay. We had John Friend on. I don't know if he's on now or not, but he was on a minute ago. So what a blessing, right? Of all people that to be on with us, right? Our teacher, John Friend is our teacher. He's our one of the co-creators of the Bowspring, the methodology. Brilliant, brilliant. I would say one of the top yogis in the world. Taught thousands of teachers who have taught thousands of teachers over time. And Anna here and Villalobos. I got it, girl. I got to learn how to say your name so I'm not messing it up all left and right.
Same.
But literally, we're so blessed to have beautiful teachers that have brought us together even. And you and I have played here in Denver together. So will you do me the honor, since I'm such a jabbermouth this morning, I want to introduce you. Okay, so I've kind of alluded to let everybody know here, like, you're a Bowspring teacher, you're a beautiful woman, you're a coach, you're a we'll call you a world traveler because you're getting ready to travel here in a little bit. You're a mother. You live in Chicago. You live in Chicago or outside of Chicago?
I live in San
Or
Antonio,
in,
Texas.
in San Antonio. I don't know why I always put you in Chicago, girl. And I did that this morning even. I told myself this morning you were in Chicago, and then I go, she's not in Chicago, she's in Texas. And then I did it again. I have no idea why I want you to be in Chicago, but I do this all the time. So, she's in Texas, friends. I love it. I love it. All right. All right. So, can you just give me a little brief synopsis, a little bit more about you? Give me a little bit of background, what do you love to do? Give us a little bit of insight about who you are.
Oh gosh, well, I love to do Bowspring. I talk about that all the time. That's one of my, oh my gosh,
Bowspring.
amazing practice. And I love to do a little bit of everything, I think. I love coaching my clients. It's one of my very favorite things to do in my day. Um, I love my children and I love hanging out with them and having lunch and dinner and doing all kinds of things with them and my family and just experiencing life and just taking things in and just opening myself up, all of it.
Woo! All right, let's open up. We've got Reggie here. Good morning, Phil. Hey, Kathy. Good to see you. So let's open up. I think, you said you love you. Let's stand up and dance a little. What do you think?
Do it. You know I love to dance.
So I'm like totally envious of Anna here because she's like she gets on these Facebook lives. I'm gonna do this like this, get it going right. And she dances, and I'm like, girl, get it. I'm like a little jealous. I'm gonna get my dance on too. So right. So I want to ask you as we're dancing. So we're here today to talk about. We don't have any music, but we got music in the soul, right? We're on today to talk about bridging the gap between the masculine and feminine. And I bring up the Facebook issue that came up recently? Can I bring that up?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right, so friends, here we're gonna go. I'm gonna go on a little rant here. You ready? Recently, we saw someone say that it was getting on their nerves a little bit. It was irritating them a little bit that women were dancing in their Facebook lives. How many of you are irritated by women dancing, or how many of you love women dancing? I want to see a heart if you love us dancing, and an angry face if it irritates the crap out of you. Because if it irritates the crap out of you, don't be my friend. Don't be our friends, right? So what we're doing here, we're bridging the gap between the masculine and feminine. Oh, we got a heart. We got a heart from Johanna. Here's what it is. The feminine is a little unpredictable sometimes. The feminine is not about structure, about telling you what to do all the time, about going in a certain direction. The feminine is like a hurricane. The feminine is like a tornado. How would you describe the feminine sometimes?
Oh gosh, the feminine, the way I always describe it is imagine a river. The river is raging and beautiful and all over the place and incredible to experience. And I liken the masculine to the banks of the river.
I like that. You got me dancing at my desk now. Johanna said, so we got, yeah, I mean, move the body, right? And that's what the bowstring has showed us too. It's like you can move the body, not just on your mat, not just in the gym, not just, out hiking, but all day long, right?
Yes.
And we can bridge the gap between the masculine and feminine we were told as kids to sit still a lot.
Absolutely.
And we need to sit still sometimes, because sometimes people are addicted to moving, right?
That's right.
Yeah, seriously. People are like all over the place all the time. But I mean, I've been addicted to moving. Still working on it because I love to move. So I'm one of those. But we also are addicted to sitting still.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So it just depends. It's like, which one is it? Which one do you need? Some days you might need one, some days you might need the other. Do you feel too movie around all the time? Well, then pause. Breathe, ground. Right? That's so so now that we've kind of danced a little bit, I love that analogy of the river. I think also about the masculine and feminine being like, I sometimes describe it as like the tree trunk being the masculine, and the feminine being the leaves and the flowers that will wave. It's still connected. It's still integrated, right? And then also like an electrical wire. The wire being the masculine, the electricity
being the feminine.
Look how much we love it. We're women, so of course we're like, we love being in the feminine. Oh my God. But you may be a woman who loves being in the masculine more. Maybe your feminine is actually, do you have any clients where they're like too soft, they don't have boundaries, like they'll just like let everybody in?
Yes. Yeah. And in fact, I've been one of those, and I have friends that are very much that way. And that can be challenging to just be able to feel so much that it's, it almost overwhelms her. And so
she needs maybe some more masculine energy.
yes, she's learning to have more value. Even in her body, she's just very fluid in her body and is doing a lot of work to bring more structure to her body. And that's one of the things I love about Bowspring is it brings both. It just marries.
Yeah, the bowstring practice does. It brings a structure, right? We have 10 key areas of the body that we do something with, that we integrate together. We put them in a form, we put them in a shape, we integrate them together, and then we can move. You're right. We get the structure of the masculine energy and then the freedom of the feminine energy. And we need that in everything in life. Like even say our bank account. We need the structure of like, we need to know what's in there, we need to know what's coming in, we need to know what's going out, we need to know what's going on. But once we know, we can have freedom to go spend it how we want, right? Because we know, right? And it's the same thing in our body. When you have a system, right, to work with your body, then you have freedom as you drive, as you work, as you have sex, as you go to the grocery stores, everything you want to do in life, you have this like structure in your body. Once you know it, once you work with it, and then you can kind of let go because you can rely on the kind of the muscle memory or the brain body connection that's keeping you in that shape, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So let me ask you, let's do a little crescent. Let's do a little bow arc, bow twist, because that's like a little bit more of it's going to be like structured, right?
Okay.
It's a little bit a challenging pose. So we'll put our hands up in ecstasy. And you'll see my fingers are touching the sides of the head and the elbows are forward. Your armpits are nice and hollow. You can see how her form there on the side is a more curved shape. Bend your knees a little. Have your toes down, okay? Soften your belly to start. Pull your glutes back from your toes. Lift your head up, look forward, horizon eyes. Okay, now fill up your back heart at your low waist. And just a little bit of an integration now with your belly, all the way from your belly to your heart. Feel that?
Yes, I feel it.
Beautiful, beautiful. That integration of the belly is something I'm adding in lately. I'm working with my own body, so I'm working with you too. Keep your toes down, glutes pulling back. Top of your head, lean to the right, crescent. So lift up, up, up. Good. So now we're in a form, nice structure. She's engaged fully. Then she's going to pulse, get a little bit of more of a fluid movement. So you have the structure, you get in a shape, right? And then you can move it. A little bit of a pulse. And then from your low ribs, keep your glutes pulling back from your low ribs, twist to the sky. Yeah, and then elbows down. Keep your belly integrated. Play with the belly just a little. It's not sucking in, but it's integrated with your heart. Can you feel that?
Yes, I feel it.
Cool. And then keep your lift all the way up. Cool. Now a few pulses. Glutes pull back. Heart rises up. Keep your belly lifted. And you just get a little more. Big inhale, come back to center. Stay rooted in your hips. And then release and notice what happens. Hey, Anne. Good to see you. Hey, Andrew. How do you feel?
Oh, it feels amazing. Oh, I'm so open.
Yeah, you can even see it. Like if anybody's out there right now, I want to say, like if you're doing this now, or if you're doing this later, like thanks so much for watching. Thanks for considering how do you bridge the gap between the masculine and feminine. We're doing it in the body now. We're getting a structured form of masculine energy, and then we're moving it with feminine energy. So we're playing with how to, your body holds on to anything that's happened in your life, right? Like if you were, if in a car accident, your body would hold on to it. Well, same thing with the mind. If your feelings were hurt, right? So anybody out there who's ever had their feelings hurt, when they, it's like, oh, that doesn't feel good. Or even when you think about like, when you don't like, say you don't like liver and onions, you're going to go in your face, right? We're going to have a physical reaction. So over time, the body holds on to stories, right?
That's
so
right.
What we're doing is we're helping your body release stories, but we're also showing wherever we feel kind of like that place of stuck, like, oh, that's the spot, that's where a story is held. We don't always know what the story is, right? And that's okay. Yeah. But we get to play with it. We get to say like, oh, I'm not actually as open or integrated, as structured or free as I thought. So we get to play with it in our body. And I have a feeling, and we'll talk about it here in a second, that your life has changed since you've been doing Bowspring.
Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. And I loved what you said about we don't even know what it is when we release it, because we don't really have to know. Like we think we have this idea that I've got to know, I've got to understand, and I've got to, just get it. And a lot of times it's not. It's just let it go. Whatever it is.
Be okay with not knowing, right?
Yes.
That's it. I'm going to share with everybody. Most of my friends they tend to be pretty smart cookies. I'm just going to be honest. I'm a former, professor, and I consider myself an intellect of sorts because it's just the way it's in my astrology chart, it's in my life path. You consider myself fairly bright. I mean, I'm educated, right? I got all this brain stuff going on. And yet, the desire to know will stop me every time. So this is I love that I really want to honor what you just brought forward, because I know that I'm benefiting right now from that statement, and also other people will, because wanting to know everything is what stops us from taking action in life often. And it's like, that's like almost the feminine, the spaciousness, like be okay with not knowing and still taking action, deeply knowing that everything will unfold.
Unfolds beautifully in exactly the way it's meant to unfold, and to try to control it contracts it. It keeps it from actually creating and actually flourishing.
Oh my gosh, I love that. It's so true. And we can feel it in our body, right? Like contracting, even if we want something to happen, it's not happening, whether it be in our life or somebody else, like they're not doing something we want, that, it's like it feels contractive in our body. So we can actually open our body. So what I think you and I do that's pretty cool is that, there's a lot of people doing mindset work, right? But not everybody's doing stuff through the body. Like your body is actually telling you things if you listen. And you and I are doing work helping people listen to their body and saying, oh, why is that stuck? Right? And we don't have to know why, but it is. And we're working through the body to get through the mental stories.
Yes, yes.
That's pretty cool.
That's right. It's
that's like this, that's the work. So I want to share with everybody, if you're in the space where you're a yoga teacher, you're a healer, you're anybody like that, and you've been doing all this mindset work, and you're like, for example, I work with a lot of people who have businesses, and they've done everything, and they still don't have the money that they want, right? Right? And their body, I can see them, I can watch them, I can see, just do a few little movements, just even, not even movements, just see the energy of their body, and tell that, and they're hanging on to it. They don't even know it, but their body's hanging on to a story that's keeping them from the money that they want through their business, right? And it could be keeping them from the relationship, what they want, keeping them from losing the weight that they want, keeping them from the career, their purpose in life, whatever. But the body is actually telling, like you and I, like we can see it. We can see what's going on. So I just want everybody to know that, like, if you got something that you want in life and it's not happening, like reach out and say, hey, like, will you look at my body and see if it's showing? Because it actually is. We can tell. So let's get your other side, because we don't want to send you on a plane lopsided, right?
I'm feeling open here and
So I do too. I do totally. Okay. So ecstasy arms again. Soft fingers, elbows narrow, shoulders wide. Toes down, root. Knees in, pubis back, knees wide, glutes up. So that was a lot of explanation for anybody who doesn't do the bow spring, that you'd be like, what? It was a lot of quick explanation, but she's a teacher, so she can handle a lot at once. We'd have to go slower if you're just you. So now lift your head up and your toes down, and then lean to the left. Or whichever way you did opposite. Yeah, there you go. Good. Pause where you feel that place of stuck, right? Back off just a little. Toes down, glutes back. Now engage your belly just a little to lift up. Awesome. Pulse. Pulse from your glutes. Squeeze the base of your palms, pull your heels back. Let your collarbone smile. One more lift with your belly. Good. Now keep your hips back, and at your low waist, let your ribs rotate. So you're really leading from especially your left low waist. Keep your low belly softly engaged so that your root is connected to your rise. That makes sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
This is new, I'm playing with, so I'm playing with you with it.
I love it.
All right? Keep your lift up, belly engaged, so your root and rise are together. Squeeze the base of your palms, pull your heels back, and pulse. Just to get a little bit more out of it. So you full extension and then pulse again. Allow yourself the opportunity, just a few more. Even if it's millimeters, it feels amazing, right?
Yes, it feels incredible.
Right, so that's that bow arc, bow twist. So we have to have a structure, like we have to know, twist from your low waist, right? It's not just like twist anywhere, woo! It's twist from the low waist, a very masculine, on point, right?
Pointed.
Right. And then when we have that structure, we have the freedom knowing that we're in a structure that's safe to pulse. If we were just in any structure and pulsing, it actually could be dangerous to our joints, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so the bowspring gives us the masculine and feminine. It gives us the way to integrate and also be fluid. I love it. I know you have to go soon. Do you have a few more minutes?
Dude, let's do it.
Okay, so let's sit down and chat just a bit, because I want to talk a little bit. Good morning, Kara. Hey, girl. So good. I want to chat just a teeny bit about, like, what is, like, who cares, right? Like, so what? Like, why does it even matter about bridging the gap between the masculine and feminine, right? So let's talk a little bit about real life. Like, we just did a little body stuff and showed people how you can play with the masculine and feminine in the body, but, like, what does it mean, I'm going to start with this.
Okay.
What I heard from you was that like your tendency was to be more feminine and you needed more masculine maybe. And my tendency was to be more masculine and I needed more feminine. Like you can even tell, right? Like I'm a very driven woman, very
Mhm.
ambitious. I like to be in charge, right?
Mhm.
Like it's just true. Like I just do. It's part of, like, I feel like I have great ideas and I want to go forward with them,
Mhm.
right? And yet, in relationship and in my own health and in my own life, my career, everything, I would like bulldoze people, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah.
So that didn't work. So I have to work with, I mean, I have like stickers on my window saying, it says, let your feminine energy rise or something like that.
Mhm.
Because I forget, and this has been a big journey for me over the past few years of really like resting into my female, or my feminine energy. I mean, not my female, my feminine energy. So I'm curious, like, and what it's done for me, I have healthier relationships. I'm a better listener. I'm
Yeah.
sweeter. I still get a lot of shit done, right? Like I still do relative to most people. It's part of me. But my feminine has allowed me to have like, it's opening my heart.
Yeah, yeah, and that is the beauty of I call it the marriage of the masculine and the feminine within ourselves because we all have both, and so having that marriage allows back to what we were saying. It just allows so much more freedom in relationship within ourselves. You know, when we're stabilized in our masculine, then the feminine can have more movement within ourselves, even just in our own desires and our own needs and our own experience of life. And
Yeah.
then there's stability within ourselves that allows that feminine to flow and create and move and interact with others, knowing that within me there's complete stability and I don't need to depend on other people for that stability. It just
Mm.
inside of me, and then I can
I
just
love
create.
this. I love this because what you said, so this is so good because everybody, it's like, this is the work that I do. This is the work we do a lot of. It's like helping people figure out where are they, what do they need. And that's part of the problem. Because you said, I don't need other people. I can do it on my own. My work is you don't have to do it all on your own.
Yeah,
You
but and it's a
you can rely on other people. So isn't
yeah.
that fascinating how you and I, we're both here on planet Earth. We're both women. We're both females if you were to look at us in the nude, we both have the parts of a female.
Mhm.
And yet the energy that we bring forward in this lifetime is different
Mhm.
from
Yeah.
the internal, right? So we get to play with ourselves in
Yeah.
different ways and then bring and share with others. And I think even some days you probably feel like you could be in your masculine. Some days probably you're like do, 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 do,
Uh,
do.
in fact, I've been on a similar journey in that my masculine, especially while I was raising my kids, was just, wow, really big. And then
Yeah, yeah.
thing where I said, you know what, my feminine, I didn't even know about all of this stuff. I was
Right, me
learning
neither.
and and,
Me
and I
neither.
was like,
I didn't either.
I felt like almost I would say I'm not a death, but like a suffering within myself. I think because the feminine was so, just wasn't able
Right.
to live. And so I went through that journey. And yeah, I'm feeling this place where they're both existing within me. And, I'm still in the learning, when does this one come in and when does that one come out? And, how do they work together?
I love that. I love that. I mean, it's like you said, it's like when do they come out? And I want to ask everybody out there too, are there times that you feel like you're in your masculine more, or in your feminine more, or are there times that you wish you were in one or the other more? Or is this the first time you've even heard about that? But I love what you said because I play with this, I coach with the premise of how you do anything is how you do everything,
Yes.
right? And
Yeah.
and yet there's this space. It's like, okay, being authentic is really the how you do anything is how you do everything, right? Be our authentic self as much as possible. And so what I play with is like, okay, and I'm in my masculine in my work probably 70% of the time. With my clients, I would say I'm in my feminine more. But behind the scenes stuff, like I'm in my masculine, right? I'm like doing stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
And then, but when I'm in a relationship with people, especially like if I'm interested in a man, like if there's some sort of romance going on, like hands down, I'm in the feminine like 70% of the time,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? So that's the space that I want to play in. I still may be a decision maker. I still may be, have more structure in relationship. Like I'm gonna have to calendar my dates usually because I have a fairly busy schedule. So that's sort of masculine. But when I'm on the date, I feel very spacious and open and giggly and not thinking about work or anything like that. So I think that that has been sort of a confusion for men and women both. It's like they think that they have to be the same all the time in every situation, and we don't, right?
No, we can just flow and move from one to the other, and the more that we flow within ourselves, it also allows our partners to flow with you in that masculine and feminine marriage. So
Yeah, I love that. That's so true. Is because the more we are ourselves, the more we allow other people's to be their true selves freely, right?
yes, yes.
So good. All right, Chica, how can people get a hold of you? Because I know you're about to fly out to California. I just came back from California, and then this woman is headed to California. How about that, friends? How cool is that? As if the world isn't synchronized enough, here we are together. It's like beautiful, beautiful. And she doesn't live in Chicago. I just literally in my brain, I'm just going to let you know in my brain, for whatever reason, I haven't figured it out yet, but you were just flying over. I was about to say, oh, you're going to pass over me. And I was like, she's not in Chicago. I don't know why I want you in Chicago. Okay, okay. So how can people get a hold of you?
Anna Villalobos Coaching, AnnaVillalobosCoaching.com. My phone number, I have my phone number on my Facebook page. So if you want to just call me or text me and set up an appointment, set up a time that you can chat with me, then we can get that done pretty quickly.
All right. And you teach classes in San Antonio?
No, I don't teach here. I take
Teach
classes.
private.
No, I don't. I'm just right now I'm just taking.
Okay, beautiful. That's what I want to make sure. I just want to make sure to honor in case you're in a studio somewhere so people can find you. Okay, but good. I love it. I'm the same way. I work on, I work from home. I don't have any in-person client. Well, I do some in-person stuff, I will say, but I don't do regular classes and stuff like that. That's the beauty of the life we live right now. We can literally work from home. And then, like, I'm going to get off of here right now after this, and I'm going to go head to the studio and practice, like you probably do, right? Some days you're like, do your thing, you can go practice, you come home, do your thing, And what a beautiful life we live. What a beautiful life.
That's right.
I love it. Thanks for being here today. And anybody else out there, if you want some support about, like, how do I bridge the gap between my masculine and feminine, or as Anna says, how do I marry the masculine and feminine within me and then, support the rest of my life, the rest of the world with it? If you need some support, reach out. We're always here for you. I'm here for you. Reach out. Send me a little message. I love that Facebook Messenger app. I've been all about that lately. I've been chatting up with people galore, leaving little voice messages. So if you send me a message, I'll probably leave you a voice message at some point because I love that shit. So, all right. Have a good trip, baby.
Thank you so much. This was wonderful, Lila. I really appreciate it. So
appreciate
fun.
you. I'll see you soon. Namaste.
Namaste.